So we have finally gotten this rain in a number of parts of the state, and unfortunately, out towards Woodward area, out in the Panhandle, they still haven't seen rain for months now. So that is setting up some different scenarios with our wheat crop here in different parts of the state.
Talk a little bit about those scenarios and some of the challenges and different situations for producers now.
So kind of the first scenario would be one where we were able to get the crop to germinate and maybe get a good stand overall. And what do we do from here on? Well, we've gotten some rain now, and that's perking things back up. So now it's kind of in a lot of cases, if that scenario, to kind of go along with what we're normally doing in terms of our management. Now the second scenario, and probably what most people have questions on right now, is we had maybe some part of our field germinated last fall, and we were able to get plants to establish. Parts of the other field did not, or it was planted so late and it was dusted in, it's just had not had any rain since. And now with these rains here recently, we're getting that crop to finally germinate, and that's going to be what a lot of people are thinking about.
And then for the folks who really haven't gotten any rain,
it's in that case, it's still kind of like where we were when we last met. It's still going to be kind of what to do. There's still a little bit of time yet for those folks out there before we really start greening up and getting going. Hopefully we can get a rain for those folks, but if we don't get that rain and we start greening up, that crop's going to really work backwards really quickly, as it's going to be demanding a lot of nutrients and water, things that might not be there for the crop when it wants it.
Let's dive into that scenario too a little bit more in terms of some of the germination questions that people might have. Can they still make a crop?
That's a very good question. So one, for the seed that's just germinating now, the question is, will it go on? Will it even make a head? So the good news is we just need that seed to germinate, and we can start the clock in terms of vernalization, or that cold period that seedling needs to go through to get it to switch from vegetative growth to reproductive growth. Kind of a rule of thumb, if we can get 3 weeks, 21 days of where we're at temperatures at 45 degrees or below, for most of the varieties that we're going to plant in Oklahoma, we'll satisfy that vernalization requirement. If we start getting less time, that's where we could start running into vernalization issues. And if the plant does not we do not have enough cold period to meet that requirement, the plant's going to think like it's here in the fall, and it's just going to grow vegetatively and keep putting on tillers, but it'll never go reproductive.
A couple other things to just visit with you about this week. First, hollow stem. We haven't seen you in a while. Let's talk about where we are progressing there.
So we've got a couple updates right now on our OSUwheat.com on the blog with our first hollow stem measurements at Chickasha and here at Stillwater, and we've got some varieties that are getting up and they're getting going with stem elongation, and they've reached first hollow stem, and I suspect this week we'll continue to see a number of varieties reach that stage at both of our locations. So that's on our non-grazed plots, and you can tell right now with the rains that we had and a little bit of sunshine and a little bit of heat now, that's getting the plants and waking them up out of dormancy, and they're starting to get up and start to really grow.
Okay, David, thanks a lot. We'll see you again soon. And for a link to the blog that David mentioned, go to sunup.okstate.edu.